All right, we're
Welcome.
live.
Yeah, man.
Thanks for
Guys,
having me on.
I'd like to welcome Steve Cardillo to the MD Levrone Report. Thank you, my man, Steve, for showing up, brother. Good to have
Thank
you here.
you. Thanks for having me. Thank you, Ron.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. Yeah.
All good.
Thank God. Look at that. Look at that,
Yeah.
Steve.
Dude, this is my prized possession. I've had this for like 11, 12 years now.
Yes,
Dude, I wouldn't lift without it.
I appreciate you guys
Steve.
are loyal, and that's how I go, man. We got to be loyal.
Yeah.
I have had a Cardillo belt. I think it was not before I turned pro because nobody knew who I was, but it was in 1992 since then.
Wow.
Yes.
Well, yeah, when I was
Back-
training for the Olympia at that time.
That goes back to it goes even further when you were competing against Paul, and Paul said, DeMeo said, this guy's going to be good. Get him a belt, Steve.
Right. Yeah. Right.
June.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Junior
'Cause
Nationals.
I filmed Full Blown, and me and my workout partner Scott, you gave us belts.
Yep.
Yeah.
And that was honestly, I know way back when you and Paul were going at it and the whole 9 yards.
Yeah.
He said this guy's good one. Get him a belt. That he kind of put us together.
I remember a magazine ad for Cardillo Belts with Paul DeMeo in it. It was awesome. It was a freaky picture of him, and I think it was like him against the skyline or something.
Yeah, that was the Quadzilla. That's when he first hit the Quadzilla, and we took Godzilla out and put Quadzilla in.
Nice.
Yep.
So,
Hey, Steve, since we're talking about belts and everything, like
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about the man. What how'd you start off? Like, how'd you grow up over there on the East Coast, Massachusetts, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Back when you were what got you interested in the training? Was it through high school? And then where did that corner turn where it led you into the business?
I was younger days. I was serious about hockey, so I kind of went against the norm and trained as a goalie. I went and trained with weights, obviously slow you down, all this type of shit. That's not true. We know that today, but back then it was kind of, so I was like a closet lifter while I played hockey. Then hockey came along. It wasn't the direction that I wanted to go to get to the next level. And I started powerlifting for the school that I went to play hockey for. And turned out that they gave me a budget I was the first powerlifter to represent the school, went to the nationals, almost got All-American. Long story short, that made the transition then. So through powerlifting, the belts were very uncomfortable. I didn't like how they felt. So thinking the whole world lifted like we all do being in the industry, I said, hey, let me just make a more comfortable belt, approach the company that made the best industrial linesman equipment in the world, which worked with leather. Through then we formed a partnership. And 35 years later, here we are making belts for The Rock, and you name it, for you, The Rock, everybody. And that's how it all went, just one step after the other. But it all started stemming from powerlifting. But we all know that, we're into lifting, so it doesn't matter what sport genre we're into. But I always, you want to always look at, even as a powerlifter, say, hey, I want to look good. So I always kind of swayed towards bodybuilding, but I still was strong. But bodybuilding is where it basically started, not necessarily that. The idea came from powerlifting, but the expansion came through bodybuilding because that's everyone wants to look good.
I'm sure a lot of people want to know your top lifts because people love to know how much weight you lifted. Kevin was super strong in his younger days. What were your best bench press, squat, and deadlift, Steve?
In 181, I got elite status. I did 6'4", I think it was 402 and 650 on the deadlift.
Okay.
So, I was always close to 4 times body weight on the deadlift, but never did. Wow. You look at all the Instagram stuff today, guys pulling 600-700 weight and 250. Believe me, it's impressive because I'd have debates with everybody saying, if the car is stuck on me, I don't care if the guy weighs 300. If he can lift the car up, I don't care if the guy's 148 and can lift the half a car. I need the 300-pound guy. The bigger guy is the stronger guy. But it's still impressive as we know the sport, the lighter you are, the more weight you lift, the more impressive it is to people that know lifting. But to the general public, the guy who picks up 800 weighing 400, is much more impressive than the guy weighing 150 doing 600. But we all know the 600 is much more impressive than the guy doing 800.
Right. Yeah.
So I don't know where I got onto that. But that's kind of where it was. So I was strong, genetically strong, and then just took that to. I accomplished what I wanted. I won the drug-free nationals in '86.
Mm-hmm.
You know, what's power? There's nothing there. Then I designed the belt, and I basically took the belt in '86, and this is coming up on the 35th anniversary of the fruition of the belt. In '87 is when it launched.
Wow.
Yeah, and Ron, the thing that you know, like any successful CEO at that level, it's like, you know, the history. He has that history with training, with powerlifting, and Steve did his research and knew what was what actually, you know, what the sport needed as a powerlifter, and then it trickled on in the bodybuilding. I'm saying that, Steve, because I know that whenever I need something, a belt or anything, you always answer the phone. Have you always been, of course, I know you have been hands-on, but tell us about, like, you know, you do, and you're there constantly every day, making sure that, you know, the operation is being run right? Take us through
Yes.
like a day of Steve Cardillo, you know, because I see you working out and everything on the lake, but tell us
Yes.
about, like, walk us through a day, man.
You know, basically, I answer your call because honestly, I respect you, Ron. You guys, like you. If it wasn't for you guys, if it wasn't for Ron and Muscular Development writing back then, if it wasn't for you guys, I wouldn't be here today. You need people like you. I appreciate people like you. So when you call me, I don't forget. You know, it was years ago, but you helped me get to where I am. You never asked for anything. You just did it because you wanted to do it. You like my product, which is great. If it wasn't good, you probably wouldn't want it. But we formed a relation through loyalty. So when you call, you have my number. You call. You're not calling me to look for something. You're calling me to discuss, hey, how you doing? You're calling me to say I have an opportunity. You're calling me not to say, hey, I need this, I need that, I need. I used to get tons of those calls. I didn't even take them any longer. You know,
Right.
I call a bunch of my friends. Hey, how you doing? That's it. I'm just calling to say hello, man. I'll catch you later. Make sure you're all right. That's kind of how it goes. My day to day is, you know, I get up, I do my workout, I get my content for Instagram, because obviously we know Instagram and the social media is the key to what we do now. So being older, I have to conform to the times, which I'm not one of those older guys that say, you know, I want to continually keep learning. To keep learning, you have to go with the times. You know, social media is really what, 18 to 30, but we have to be in social media to get what we need. So I start my day with training. I fence a few calls. I check in with the office. I see my nephew. I go to my nephew has a nutrition store. I check in with him. And it's just back to the grind of social media. I always have to, you know, people comment on my post. I have to go in and thank them. They don't have to come in and comment on me. If I have the time, I make it a point to thank people for taking the time to acknowledge what I'm doing. I'm not all, hey, you know, I have to acknowledge it. I appreciate it. They don't have to no one has to do anything for anybody.
So you're hands-on. You're hands-on with running your social media.
Yes, have to be. Because I'm the only who can do it. Do you think anyone really cares? Like if I put someone like an intern and say, hey, answer these things, I try to, from my heart, answer them, even if it's just a thank you. I appreciate you acknowledging what I'm doing. You don't have to choose me. You don't have to look at my content. You negative, positive. I really don't care, because I'm comfortable with myself knowing what I do. The ultimate goal is to try to make people happy.
That's right.
So if I can make people happy through a gift, I get calls all the time. People gift my product more than they buy it for themselves. It makes people happy. I want to make people happy. I'm happy.
Yeah.
And that's basically what drives me. It's not about money. I mean, how much money do you need? I'm content. I eat what I want. I do what I want. I built my home. It's like my resort. I don't need to go away. I live. So I want to help other people succeed. Startup businesses, whatever it is. Hey, I was a once startup business. If I didn't have people like you and Ron helping me, I'd be nothing.
I want to let everyone know, because we didn't say it in the introduction, but every time you see a pro or top amateur bodybuilder or the many other divisions now with a custom weight belt with their name on it or a nickname on it, I get 99 times out of 100, that's a Cardillo belt. And I think people sort of take it for granted now that we have custom belts, but years ago, that was unheard of. I never saw custom belts. I'd see people like use a Sharpie to write something on a belt.
Yes.
Mhm.
Correct.
You took it to a whole other level with designs and different fonts and colors. I know DeMeo was one of your first athletes to represent the Cardillo
Yes.
belts. Who were
Yes.
some of the other early ones back when you were first starting out?
The bodybuilding, I had Milos, Vince Taylor, you name anybody from Kevin's era, anybody, Dillette, everybody. I mean, I honestly, you had, even Dorian Yates, he was Valio. He'd call me, he'd have my belt. He would call me for his son. Even some of the athletes who signed with other companies, they still call me wanting belts. Say, hey, why don't you go to them? They don't do what you do. I say, I understand, brother. Here, I'll take care of you. Because at the beginning, they were with me. Just because they jumped ship to make money, which I understand you have to make money, they still use my product. Does Tom Brady, does Peyton Manning really drive a Buick, man? I don't think so. You know what I mean? Does Tom Brady use a Movado watch? I don't think so. So I know, they know, and I don't really, there's plenty of people that wear my product that show it, and some people still I don't say, hey man, you're with them, I'm not going to send you a belt. Hey, I respect what you did for me before. I do not forget, if it wasn't for you did before you won the Olympia, after you won the Olympia. Jay does his own thing. For 4 years, he wore my belt. He jumped ship. He's still my friend. I understand it's a money deal. You got to do what you have to do, but he helped me at the beginning. So he calls me anytime for something. I have no problem with Jay. I give him whatever he wants. He's respectful to me. That's how it goes. I mean, there's plenty. He's happy. I'm happy. We're all happy.
Yeah. And I've been to your showroom, and you guys should know that Boston is a sports town. I mean, the Patriots, the Celtics, the Red Sox, the Bruins. And I think Steve has made belts for all the best players for all those teams for, 25, 30 years now.
Yes.
You have a lot of them up on display.
Yeah. Yeah.
Are you in the store right now, or is this
no?
your
I'm
house?
in my office.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And then, going back to the athletes, athletes want to be bodybuilders. Wrestlers want to be bodybuilders. Everybody kind of wants to be a bodybuilder deep down. So going in from powerlifting to bodybuilding, my real catapult was with wrestling with Randy Savage and Hulk Hogan, actually wearing the belts into the ring.
Wow.
That's what took me to the next level. And I tell everybody wants to be a bodybuilder, but also everyone is a closet wrestler lover, or they have a grandson I met George Steinbrenner because his son loves Hulk Hogan. I made him a belt for George Steinbrenner's grandson. Honestly, it all comes full circle. Somewhere or another, somebody has someone in their family that loves wrestling. Yeah. But all the wrestlers want to be bodybuilders, so they gravitated to me because we'd go to World's Gym in Somerville or Pacatinos. We'd all meet down there. I had the luxury of sizing them up for belts. Then we'd go in and rip up the weights. I was at my peak. So I'm training with the Warlord, he's 300 pounds, all the guys. So they were, if I had to put my foot to the metal on some of my lifts, I could outdo them. But we trained, whatever they did, I did. So they embraced my strength. I embraced because I was having a great time training with these guys. I was young. It was kind of surreal to me. But deep down, we all know everyone wants to be a bodybuilder.
Yeah.
You're supposed to say it, but nobody wanted to lift no heavy ass weights.
No, exactly. It was all
hey Steve, since we're
But
talking about working out, I mean, you put up some just unique, different style of training, the way you train, that approach on the lake, of course, in the wintertime, on the ice, everything.
Yes.
What's going on with that, Steve? Because the water and the tub's filled up in the water. Do you keep going until the water drains down? Is that like one set, or what is that?
Yes,
Tell us about your approach with this training.
Okay, so I always like doing drop sets. That was just how I trained. I had the opportunity to have people peeling weights. I would have people take the weight. So then I started getting into kinetic training. That's with the bands and all of the motion. As I got older, it feels so much better on the joints. So when you're doing free weights, buckets with barbell, it's kinetic. Then going for the drop set, I remember thinking back to Mike Mensa when he would talk about doing one all-out set. Dorian Yates, that crazy shit, he'd do one of the, I mean, I don't believe in one all-out set is going to make you Mr. Olympia, but so be it. If that's how he portrayed how he trained, so be it. But then I started, okay, I would send the water into the bucket to see the range of where my strength level was. On the next set, I would take it a little bit above because always I was fatigued getting to that point. Now it becomes every single rep feels exactly the same. And as you get lighter, where the weight becomes really light, now it becomes a burn. Now your body can do it. It's your mind that has to kick in and say, okay, you got to keep going. You got to keep going. You got to keep going. So then I start playing with, if you were here with me, man, I'm going to go for you. You know what I mean? This is my game. And my mind is telling me, you got to keep going. You got to keep going. Because if someone comes and wants to hang with you, they keep going. You got to drain that bucket. So my range is 50 to 75 reps, but ideally 50 is where I go for. The first 25 are like doing a row of 6 reps maximum. It's pretty wild. It's really wild. And as you get older, you know where the threshold of before you're going to blow out your shoulder or your back or your leg. So you get right there and then you bring it down.
I was just ready to say, from listening to what he's saying, Ron, like, I've never trained like that to where it's all, like you said, it's on like somebody stripping off the weight, but it's coming out, it's probably a lot easier on your joints doing that as well.
It's everything. That's why, now I'm really, really, because obviously you get older, I don't want to tear it. I don't want to get injured. You know what I mean? You have the mindset, you want to keep pushing harder and harder, but as you get older, you have to say, okay, enough is enough. Now I'd like to maintain what I have and keep going, but it's much healthier on your joints. You don't get hurt because you stop the amount of weight you're going to use before you get to that point where it's dangerous. Now it's coming down. You're coming down by ounces. You're not coming down by pounds. It's
Steve, have you ever tried to, market that or make it more widely used? Because you need a lake, I guess, first of all.
Yeah, it's kind of, I thought about it, but containing the fluid, recycling the fluid back again, it's kind of, it would be kind of like the Kaiser pumping the stuff. I remember Kaiser, that stuff was great, but you don't see it in enough gyms. You know what I mean? This is like almost barbaric because the water has to flow. It's kind of just, a couple of people hit me with resorts. They want to put in resorts, the same type of feel, but it's just not, you really have to know, like you couldn't, like you go to a resort and you have someone who just likes to train, couldn't understand it, wouldn't know how to do it. It wouldn't be feasible, but you would know what you're doing when you went to a resort and you'd eat it up. But there's not enough of us that are hardcore that can really understand what I'm trying to do.
Gotcha.
So, and then all before the pandemic, my stuff was viral everywhere because no one was really taking the weights outside. Now everyone has to go outside because there's no gym, but no one is still doing this. I mean, the curls with the 5-gallon buckets, Kevin, Ron, if you go to the beach or in the back pool, just mess around, put a dime hole in the bucket. It takes about 30 to 35 reps. Your arms are going to, ask Jose Raymond.
Oh yeah.
Gonna burst.
I saw you put him through a few of those workouts.
Yeah. Well, the first one we did up at the pool and it was viral, it went everywhere. And they were tagging Jose, which is great. I wasn't getting any credit, but it didn't matter because it was all cool. But the curl, I've been doing that since I was like 15 years old. I didn't have weights and shit. My father would give me 5-gallon buckets. I'd start curling buckets, and then eventually I said, hey, let me put a hole in it. So my concept has been there for a long, long time. And then once I had I could put the gym out onto a dock and I'll take machines and it becomes wild. It's just wild. Then you see me, say in the winter, hey, Steve, what are you doing in the winter? Tricks for clicks. No, some of the stuff is just fun. I do the ice, I make stuff, but no matter what I do, my gym, I have a 3,000 square foot gym off to the side of the dock. So I'll do my complete workout inside, but I want to go out and make sure I get 1 or 2 drop sets. They feel that good. So in the winter, I'm already warmed up, man, going outside cold. It's not like, oh, geez, I work construction. You know what I mean? You work construction, they say, go out into the cold, you dig a hole for 8 hours with the shovel.
Right.
What the guy from Cincinnati, the Bengals guy said to the guy, go out run on the field. When they stormed Normandy, did they go out and stretch and warm up? No, you just it's not that big of a deal, really, once you're kind of warmed up. So that's kind of where the winter stuff is more me training inside, going out, grabbing it. If I can bust through the ice to get some water in the buckets, I'm going for it. But the summertime, it's just straight up.
Hardcore, baby.
You love it,
baby.
I appreciate it.
People gotten away from work, from work. They want to, be all pretty and this elaborate stuff. But when I see you out there, I'm like, man, this is work. He's putting that work in.
Yes.
Hey, damn right. It's not easy. I can look at
every
it.
Once I think I say, hey, if there was a pill and I didn't have to train, would I take the pill and not train? I enjoy training. If there was a pill that made me ripped all the time and I could eat what I want, maybe I would take that pill, but I still enjoy the process of training. You know what I mean? Eating part, I like to eat. The training part, I love to train. So I would always train, even if there was the magic pill, but I would take that pill to stay ripped if I could.
Yeah.
That's kind of where I'm going.
Hey, Ron, I don't know about you, but see, it's like, again, Steve has that, there's a creative side to him, and that's who he is. And that's why he's so successful, because he's been able to channel his creativity and into his passion. And like he said, it's not about, he's not doing it to rip people off or some gimmick idea. But when you do something and you're in your passion, that's the greatest thing in the world. It's not even a job. It's like who you are. And that's why he has so much success. Because I haven't worked. I really haven't worked in 35 years. Yeah.
I enjoy
That's
what
awesome.
I get to meet all you guys. It's just, I mean, it's surreal. You know what I mean? It's kind of, it's really cool. Wrestlers used to come over my house. My nephew would be lying on the couch. He was so he missed all of that. I remember going to hockey games, waiting for a puck and all that shit, all that excitement. He missed all of that because the wrestlers would come over the house. Hey, what's up, man? And be like, he'd back to watching TV like it was no big deal. So he missed all of that feeling of, wow. You know what I mean? I had that feeling younger as well. Now it's just a regular day for me. But, that's kind of, but I'm around all these people and it's a great feeling because they're just people. We're all just people. We're just people. Yeah. A little more successful than others, out there a little bit more than others. But at the end of the day, either you're a good person or self-centered person, whatever you want to be.
We're living in our passion, baby. That's it.
Exactly. 1,000%.
I just want to say, I know so many people with Cardillo belts and it's like their prized possession. Some people have multiple, several of them, but like Jose, I think, how many do you think Jose has, Steve? I'm going to guess like 30.
Yeah. And he wears one, the black one.
And he got, but I remember he got so upset one time because he was at a gym, a seminar somewhere a few states away, and somebody stole his belt, his Cardillo belt. And he has plenty of them, but he was so upset because I think that was one of his favorite ones.
One of his favorite ones, yeah.
Yeah, because he seems, they're durable. You're going to have this friggin' for life, basically. It's not like it's going to fall apart. So
they last a long time.
Yeah.
We'll go through sneakers. We'll go through workout clothes.
You can't wear out a Cardillo belt. They don't wear out.
They don't.
It might fade a little bit. The leather might fade. The black ones, but that's it.
Yep.
I mean, that's from pounding them in. I used to love my belt because not only was a Cardillo belt support and everything, but it almost was that gauge on there, Ron, right? To where when I started off training for Olympia or something,
how many holes?
You know what I mean? Oh yeah, how many holes? You count the holes, and I'm like, okay, when I get that bad boy in that hole, then I'm ready to go.
You're ready to go.
You're ready to go. Know exactly. You know that feel, right? And you just wait for those holes to click down, man. Thanks, Steve.
That's a great point. I like that. First one time brought that one up. That's good.
Yeah. Yes. The Cardillo gauge belt, baby. That's
it. Exactly. I like that. I'm going to use that. Is it okay if I use that?
You should. Yeah, do it, man.
Okay.
I used to always, even when I'll be like, nah, I'll use that. Oh man, you look good. I said, no, I'm not ready. I said, when I belt gets to that hole, that's my gauge.
Yep.
And that's when I'll be ready to go. It was just this feel about your belts, man.
Yes.
When the time is right.
Ron, you got to go in and see Peter at the store. Now we do we take the old school leather belt.
Yep.
And he lasers it, but he laser tattoos it. So he gives you your flavor of like all your accolades, Kevin, your company on there, everything. Oh, wow. So Ron, do this, when you have a chance, go in and see Pete, tell him I gave the okay to make you guys. He'd love to make you guys both one of those. And it's taking it to another level because now you're going way old school plain leather belt and bringing it up to, this level. It breaks in a lot different than the black ones, but people are loving it because I can get a lot more detail to it, and it's pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean, you talk about door. I have two. My son has one. He made one for my son. I have the powerlifting one, and those things are so thick and heavy. I think after nuclear war, the only things that would still be around are cockroaches and those Cardillo powerlifting belts.
Yeah, but I see you using it on leg day. That's a leg day belt, right?
I wouldn't squat without that.
That's true.
Total support. Yeah.
Yep. I see you all the time. I appreciate it.
I've always liked the feel of the not the powerlifting belt because it was just too square for me.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
What do you call the other one, Steve?
The training belt. Yeah, that's my most popular.
That's awesome.
The concept started with Ron's because that's the one that was powerlifting. But
4-inch?
Look,
4-inch?
yes, 4-inch all the way around. Yes.
Ron, show how it comes down.
Look at all those holes.
Hold it straight. Yeah. See how it curves down?
Yes.
Where the buckles. Ron, move it to the left a little bit. There you go. Yeah. Move your hand, Ron.
I'm trying.
Yes. Yeah, tape it.
See how that bad boy dips down?
Oh, yeah.
That's magic. That's the magic right there, baby.
Wait, stay right there. Hold on.
That's the magic right there.
And I can tell you for some of us whose guts have gotten bigger over the years, like myself, this thing is a godsend because it makes your waist, it brings in your waist quite a bit when you wear it in the gym.
This is the one that Ron's talking about.
Yeah.
Now you would think like Ronnie squatted in the one you did, Kev, 800. And you would think Tom would go for that, but he has one of these that he would basically murder if someone took his belt.
Hold it closer to the camera.
That's Tom Platts, the Golden Eagle. Wow.
Yep. And he, he's emphatic about this. Tom, he's his own guy, man. But that belt, I gave him one. He used to wear the training belt. Then when he went to the WBF, he went to one of those, and he still wears it today.
Really? Wow.
Yeah.
I want to throw this out there because we're talking about belts. There's a lot of people that, I don't know, they sort of look down their nose at wearing belts, like it takes away your core strength or this and that, and they, like I get shit if I post a picture like, why do you need a belt for fill in the blank, whatever the exercise is.
Yeah,
saying that stupid shit, Ron.
I mean,
who's saying that?
Oh, dude,
who's actually saying that stupid stuff?
Everyone on trolls, basically. But I want you to address that, Steve.
The bottom line is scientifically, it's science about building the abdominal pressure to give you more stability. You have to train your core, and a belt helps prevent injury. I'll outcore anyone. I'll out sit up you. I'll out hyper you. I'll murder anybody coming to core. So don't tell me I've worn a belt since I was 14 years old. People say, "Oh, you wear it curling." I wear it curling. I probably like it better for curling than I do squatting. I press against my abs, press against it. Don't tell me it's for the pansies that don't want to train harder heavy. If you're training heavy, why do you want to put yourself at risk of getting injured when you can strengthen your core through sit-ups, hypers? There's thousands and thousands of core exercises. Obviously, we have to strengthen that, but I don't want to blow my back out.
Let me tell you something. Whoever's trying to squat out there that doesn't have a belt on, and you're going, even at 300, even at 315, by the time you start getting to 400 and 500, you know what? You're going to end up with a hernia. Idiot's going to end up with a hernia because your stomach lining is going to protrude, number one. It's going to protrude. And all that pressure is just going to, you have nothing supporting your midsection. So that absolutely makes no sense. When I would go in a gym, have a belt on, Ron.
Yeah.
I wouldn't even get underneath the weight, even when I benched.
Right.
It was just a
Exactly.
whole psyche thing. It's a whole psyche thing. You lock and load, baby. Lock
Exactly.
that belt in. Get. It's just everything. You need all the support you can need when you're going underneath 500, 600, 700 pounds on a bench, on a deadlift, or even on a squat. So that's a false thing. You certainly need a belt.
If it wasn't to protect you, they wouldn't allow it in a raw meat. Why in a raw meat you can do it? You can't wear anything, but you can wear a belt.
Right.
Why would the liability? You'd be an idiot that if you wouldn't let a guy wear a belt squat in 800, you're setting yourself a liability. It's going to help prevent you from getting hurt.
Yeah.
Why you think you're going to be a superhero and not wear a belt? Oh, I did 400. I don't care what you did. You do 450 with the belt. It doesn't really matter to me. I want to protect myself. I'm still here. No back injuries.
Steve, I'll tell you one thing. Yeah. God bless you. God bless you, brother. You know, I never blew back out of nothing either. I can tell you one thing. When I noticed when I put on a belt and I climb underneath 500 pounds or 600 pounds or even 400 pounds, it supports the load. It makes it feel easier for some reason.
Yes.
Mentally.
Yes.
It gives you that support. It makes the lift a lot easier. You're not wiggling and diggling and all over the place, you know?
Exactly.
It's an easier lift. It helps.
And we all want perfect form, but know when you're grinding that sixth rep, kind of form goes out the window, man. You want that belt to help you from snapping over and breaking your back. Deadlifting, go bend down, squat your knees, do this, don't round back. Man, when you're pulling to pull for the win, all that shit goes out the window. So let's protect ourselves from getting hurt. But again, you choose to do what you want. People choose what they want. I just say, hey, it's your choice. I'm just telling you, I practice safe sets. Basically, I don't want to get hurt. And don't tell me you're gonna my core is weak. That ain't gonna happen.
Hey, let me tell you something. You go into any grocery store at nighttime, watch those guys packing those shelves. Look at your UPS guy coming up. They're all wearing belts, support belts. Yeah.
Yes. The problem is some people wear them as a crutch, which we know that's not cool. But if you wear them correctly for the right, you have to have it. It's not even a question. To me, it's not even, I don't even debate it anymore. I let science debate it because there's so many great pages out there like Squat University. Mm-hmm. He talks about it all the time. I let the professionals talk about it. I'm not a professional. I went to school. I'm educated, but I'm not a doctor. I let the doctors tell you what it's for. I'm telling you from experience. They're telling you from science that it's going to help you increase abdominal pressure. But coming from a doctor, they're going to say, that's a doctor. He don't train. I train, whatever it may be. Scientifically, it's going to help you and help you prevent injury.
I can say that even beyond the actual injury prevention aspect of it and all that, psychologically, I always feel like I'm ready to train. Like it's part of my, like you put your workout stuff on. You have certain clothes you wear, certain shoes you wear, and you put the belt. And then I feel like I'm ready. I'm really ready to train hard now.
Yeah.
Yes.
Even if I don't need the belt for actual support and whatever I happen to be doing, it just makes me feel more complete in the gym.
Yes. It feels like, if you don't go, you feel like if you wear underwear, you don't wear when you play sports and you wear your cup and you go out on the field and all of a sudden, I don't have my cup on. You don't have your cup on. You know what I mean? It's just, and look at Jose. He wears it. You catch Jose, you see some of his videos. He's out in California with his brother at a dinner table. He still has his belt on. What? He said, dude, it feels so comfortable. I forget to take it off. I said, okay, that's cool. I love it. He wears it all around, walking around Venice Beach and like a nut job. He don't even realize he had the thing on. He said, I forgot all about it. So that was kind of the whole deal. I want to make it comfortable. Why would I want to have a pair of shoes that are uncomfortable? I want to walk around in comfortable shoes.
Yeah. So, another thing I just want to add is a lot of bodybuilders started wearing belts a few years ago when this whole outcry against the big guts, the bubble guts. A lot of bodybuilders got aware of that and they said, geez, my gut kind of sticks out. I need to start controlling it better. And a lot of guys would wear a belt all the time.
Yes.
Not because they needed to, because that would make them aware of their midsection. And they would keep it sucked in, because if they didn't, it would hurt because that belt would be sticking into them. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff on that too, where they make belts and to train your body to be conscious of that, to help keep your waist small. I don't know enough about that,
I use it, and I've developed it to help prevent injury and get more maximum out of my lifts. I wanted to be bigger, stronger, faster, and whatever it took. And if a belt gave me 20 more pounds on my squat, and a suit gave me 30 more pounds in a day, and the wraps gave me 20 more pounds in a day, that's 80 pounds at the end of the day on my lift. Okay, I squatted 600 with wraps, belts, suit, and straps. Okay, I take it off, I do 500. You do 500. I don't care. Okay, well, the guys are doing 1,200 today. Okay, all this gear gets 300 pounds. They're still doing 900 pounds.
Yeah.
Oh, he does 1,200 pounds, all geared up, suits, wraps, straps, metal suits, and all this shit. I don't know enough about it, but it gives you 300 pounds on your total. You still total 3,000 pounds.
Wow.
Who you know what I mean? It's irrelevant.
Right. Yeah.
You drive a sports car, you want your car to go the fastest, so you make it lighter. You take this in it, you put that in it to go 220. Oh, you couldn't do that in a Toyota Corolla. No shit. You're not designed. It's not designed Toyota Corolla. It's designed for speed.
Man.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah. I have to, this is so random, Steve, but I lost my Boston accent at Emerson College. They made us take a class called Voice and Articulation. And if you had any kind of regional accent from the South or New York, you would fail the class at the end of the term.
Wow.
So I lost mine. I still love to hear it every day with people, but does it bother you when you watch movies and actors do bad Boston accents?
Honestly, I don't even pick up on it.
You never heard that? Like, you watch The Departed, you know the movie The Departed?
Yes.
Some of the actors in that movie had awesome Boston accents, and some of them it was just like, oh, cringy.
Yes.
It's a thing that even though I lost the accent, it still bothers me when I hear it mangled and murdered by actors like that. Yeah. I didn't know if it bothered you.
I like the girls from England. I love their accent, and I pick up the accents on like the girls from Kentucky. That's all pretty cool to me. Otherwise, I don't know anyone's accent. Maybe New York comes out a little bit, but I kind of gravitate to those couple accents from women.
Fair enough.
That makes sense.
It makes a lot of sense. Every guy watching this, there's some accent that a woman has is like just turns them on and they can't explain it. It just does. Yeah, I know we're going all over the place, Kevin.
Yeah, but
hey man, this is what it's all about, you know. I was just sitting here thinking while you guys are talking about that, my mind was still back in the gym, back in the day, because memories are popping up with the Cardillo belt and everything. Like, Ron, I don't know about you, but like sometimes, you got your workout partner that didn't show up or somebody can't find a belt. I didn't like people using my belt.
No.
I didn't like that.
It's like, I bring it back to like a baseball glove.
And I wouldn't put on somebody else's belt either. I need some weight because I just didn't feel right. That's weird.
It's like putting on a pair of their grubby sneakers. It's you. You know what I mean? It's you, and that's true. Yeah, it's personal. It's the most personal thing that a bodybuilder, anything you wear, that will be that honest. When you said that's your most personal piece, when you go into a gym, you can change a t-shirt, you can change your sneakers, you can change anything, but your belt is very, very personal. People dive into burning cars. It's personal.
And it's like baseball. It's like, it's like,
there he is.
Yep.
You guys see me?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Ron, you're gone.
Yeah.
No, I'm here.
I hear you. As long as I can hear you.
My battery's getting low, but
okay.
I got like 8%. But anyway, we'll close it up. But look, I want to get this out there, Steve. We're talking about belts, right? It's like that belt. Like, we always have that belt because I remember that belt, the same belt that I got second on Olympia with, won my Arnold Classic with, won the Night of Champions with. That's the belt that you want to wear when you start training for your show. You know what I mean? So you're right, Steve. It becomes real personal because I've done things on my belt, like my Cardillo belt, that it's just like, man, where's my belt? Blah, 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 blah. Going back to when I was training for a show, and I'm talking about the Cardillo gauge, right? That gauge on that belt. I would take the belt off, Ron, and off of my waist, okay? And I could always tell if I'm ready. Another gauge that I would do is take that belt and I will put it around my quad.
Yes.
If my quad fitted in the same hole where my waist was, I knew that I was ready.
Yeah, that was your tape measure.
It also means you have some big freaking quads.
Yeah.
Yes, but I want before you go, really, I want to thank you for everything you've done for me in the past. I love you. I love your Levrone way. I love your Pro Bar. Your product line is amazing too. That's just, I use your stuff, and I appreciate, honestly, you can call me anytime, even if you're asking me for something. I know where I know I appreciate the past. I wouldn't be here today. Ron, thank you for everything you've done in the past. Muscular development. If I didn't have muscular development and Flex and Bob Kennedy, I wouldn't be here today. You guys are the ones that you needed magazines back then. You're nothing. This world, you think everything is social media. Magazines up till 4 years ago, I run to Barnes and Noble every end of the month to get those magazines to make sure that my shit was in there. That goes to you. I appreciate it. Without that, there'd be nothing. Everyone thinks, oh, gee, social media. It's too flooded right now to do what we did back then. You had to lay down some dough to pick up. Today, you think, you just put on Instagram. That don't happen. But without you guys, what you've done for me, I appreciate it. Ron, make sure you go by the store, see Pete, get that belt. Make sure you get Kevin one. You'll design it for him as a gift from you.
Oh boy.
But just Kev, you'll go back to take you back to your high school days when you get one of these. But you guys, when we're done, kind of collaborate on your ideas, what you want on it. Go to his page, ANC_Boston. See what he does so you have an idea. Yeah. And always, I appreciate everyone following me on Cardillo weight belts. And I do a lot of giveaways because I know a lot of people can't afford it. So I appreciate it. But most of all, out of this, I appreciate you having me on. I appreciate what you guys have done sincerely. And I appreciate it. That's it. I appreciate it.
I think we forgot to give the website. Is it CardilloWeightBelts.com?
No, it's CardilloUSA.com.
Cardillo USA.
Yep. But when you go to Instagram or my other channels, it's Cardillo weight belts. And I do a lot of giveaways. So there's opportunities for everyone to try to win one if you can't afford one. And, that's I like to give back.
Right on. Cool.
Steve, I want to thank you so much, man, for taking time out of your busy schedule to come on to the Levrone Report, man. I want to thank you also for sharing just who you are with us, wrapping it up and packaging it into that belt and giving us a piece of who you are. It really helped me build my career, man. I want to say thank you, brother. I really appreciate your friendship, and thanks for being there for me and for all us bodybuilders. I know you say that we help, build you, but if it wasn't for you, trust me, I wouldn't have been able to do the things that I've done in the gym and built this, career and be healthy today if I didn't have the support from your belt. So I want to say thanks a lot, brother.
I appreciate it. And I wish you guys the best with the podcast and everything else you do.
Thank you, man.
Thank you, man.
All right.
That's
Thank
it,
you.
guys.
You
Kevin
guys.
Levrone wrapping it up with Steve Cardillo and Ron Harris here at MD Levrone Report. Peace, and we're out of here, guys.